Welcome back to Sports by GSMC Podcast Network. I'm your host, Jeremy Lapidus. Today is Friday, December 20th. If you were just tuning in, we just went over the NFL Power Rankings for Week 16. In this segment, we go over our game picks for this weekend, NFL, and then college football in the next segment. We're going to start off in the NFL, like I said, but before we get into that, remember, if you would like to be an even bigger part of the show than you already are, all you need to do is go to gsmcpodcast.net. Or if you are on YouTube, you can use that super chat feature. If you do either of those two things, a message should pop up on the bottom of the screen for you, me, and everybody else around the world to see. If you do have a burning question about sports, anything at all that you would like to ask, go ahead and throw that in the comments. Throw it in the chat. I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. I appreciate everybody so much for sticking around, talking some sports with me here on a beautiful Friday, December 20th. But like I was saying, we're going to get into our NFL game picks here. We have a full slate of games this week, no bye weeks as we get down the stretch in the NFL. We obviously just saw a game between the Chargers and the Broncos. Was a really good one, honestly, on Thursday Night Football. But we have two Saturday games this week, and that's where we're going to start. The Houston Texans travel to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes, hobbled Patrick Mahomes, and the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Houston is 3.5-point underdogs in this one, and we just saw a Houston defense play really good football against Tua and a Dolphins offense that is super explosive, especially in controlled weather conditions, right? This is a Houston team that is starting to really click defensively if you give them time. That pass rushing duo is going to get home. Danielle Hunter is playing really, really good off the edge this season. You obviously have the defending defensive rookie of the year on the other side, right? This is going to be a tough game for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs like to play ball control style football, right? They're going to try and run the ball. It's something that the Texans are actually pretty good against. The run, if they can bottle that up and force Patrick Mahomes to pass, especially with him being hobbled on that high ankle sprain, I think they might be able to get home, get a lot of pressure, and it's not going to be an easy game for the Chiefs. That's a lot of ifs. That is the game plan for the Houston Texans if they can get it done. I think the Chiefs are going to be able to supplement it with some screen pass game, get extension of the run game, quick pass, and really take advantage of a guy like Xavier Worthy in this one and his speed. I'm taking the Chiefs to win a close one, 23-20. The other Saturday game, this one is for the division. If the Pittsburgh Steelers win, they win the AFC North. Pittsburgh, they travel to Baltimore. Baltimore 6.5-point favorites in this one. That is way too many points for a big divisional matchup. This is a Pittsburgh Steelers team that, especially with TJ Watt, that defense is playing incredible. The Baltimore Ravens, coming off of a huge game against the New York Giants and a bye week, they're going to be pretty rested up. I think they take this one at home. It's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be close. I think they win 31-27. Getting into Sunday's action, we have a rookie quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. making his first career start against the New York Giants. An easy game for him to start. A battered secondary, a battered front line. This is going to be a game where I think him and the Atlanta offense really go off. Bijan could have a huge game. Really, everyone on the Atlanta offense, I think, is going to have a big game. He's going to look for Drake London down the sidelines, that deep threat offense. I think it's finally going to start to click, and I think the Atlanta Falcons, who are favored by 9, cover that pretty easily. They win 30-17. The Los Angeles Rams favored by 3 as they travel cross country to face the New York Jets in MetLife Stadium in the Meadowlands, right? The Jets, like I said in the power ranking segment, have started to figure something out on offense, and we saw that this is a Rams team that is susceptible to a running quarterback, and that's not Aaron Rodgers. But what I've seen out of Aaron Rodgers in the last couple games, with his movement especially, has been actually really impressive to me. That's one of those things that I've been looking at and seeing Is he back? Is he healthy? Obviously, coming off that Achilles injury, he wasn't doing it at the beginning of the season. But his ability to move around in the pocket, scramble, extend the play, we've seen it over the last couple weeks really pay dividends, do wonders for that offense. He's had a couple good games in a row. The Jets have had a couple good games in a row. I think it's going to be close. But I think at the end of the day, that Rams offense is just a little bit too high-powered, and I think they take this win 34-20. The Philadelphia Eagles, favored by 3.5, travel to Washington to take on the Commanders. This is also one of those games where if the Philadelphia Eagles win, they can clinch their division. They come in at 12-2, tied with the Vikings and the Lions for the best record in the NFC. The Philadelphia Eagles are just flat out a better team than the Commanders. I think the Commanders are going to keep it close, keep it interesting, but that defense of the Philadelphia Eagles, I think is going to be just a little bit too much for Jaden Daniels to deal with. We saw that last time they played, and I think a couple bad decisions are going to lead to a Philadelphia win 27-17. The Arizona Cardinals travel to Carolina. They take on Bryce Young and the Panthers. Arizona favored by 5 as of recording. This is an Arizona Cardinals team that will have all of its guys healthy. James Conner should have a huge day on the ground. That is a defense that I just do not trust in the Carolina Panthers. And I think because of that, the Arizona Cardinals win this game with a heavy diet of James Conner and a little bit of Kyler Murray sprinkled in there just for a little bit of flavor. The Cardinals win 28-15. Cleveland travels to Cincinnati. The Cincinnati Bengals, a desperate team, favored by 9 as Dorian Thompson-Robinson gets his first start of the season in his second season. Obviously, we've seen him go out there, play a couple of games last year. It did not go well, to say the least. That is not a guy that I'm really tuning into and really believing to turn this Browns season around. As much as Jameis Winston was playing bad football, this is not the right move to win the game, right? Sure, Jameis is going to do his thing where he throws 3 interceptions in a game. But he's also doing his thing where he keeps pace in touchdowns, right? 13 touchdowns to 12 interceptions on the season for him, and that's what you expected of Jameis. I don't know what the Browns were expecting when they turned to him to be their full-time starter, but if it wasn't that, I don't know what it was. They moved on. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is just a worse quarterback. It's not going to work out. The Browns are going to get absolutely destroyed in this one. Cincinnati keeps their playoff hopes alive. They win 38-17. The Tennessee Titans travel to Indianapolis to take on a division rival in Anthony Richardson and the Colts. Colts favored by 3.5 in this game. Anthony Richardson is going to be Anthony Richardson, right? He's going to run. I think he's going to destroy them on the ground, actually, with his physicality. This is going to be a game that I think is going to be a little bit too close for comfort for the Colts. I don't know. I don't know how confident they are in this game, but I think Mason Rudolph, with his lack of mistakes and the defense for the Colts that is very turnover dependent, right? They're going to play fine defense. If they can turn you over, they're going to play good defense. If not, it's just going to be okay. And I think because of that, this game is going to be not as big of a win as the Colts think. I think they still escape with a victory, but it's a 1-point kind of walk-off victory for them, 21-20. The Detroit Lions, on the final 1 o'clock game of this slate, travel to the Chicago Bears to take on the Bears. Caleb Williams looked absolutely distraught after that last game. He looked injured, he looked done, and this is a Bears defense that has gotten worse and worse. Now, this is a Lions defense that is completely injured. They're probably on second and third units at this point from where they expected to be at the beginning of the season. They lose David Montgomery. I think that's not going to be a big deal because you have Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think Jahmyr Gibbs might take the reins and never give them back. When David Montgomery, who signed an extension earlier this season, gets healthy, I think we're looking at less of a 50-50 and more of a 75-25 kind of workload for those running backs heading into next season. Jahmyr Gibbs is awesome. Whenever he touches the ball, he's explosive, and I think he's going to be enough. Detroit wins 30-21. Getting into the 4 o'clock slate on Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings travel to Seattle. They take on the Seahawks. Geno Smith should be good to go. He practiced in full. Obviously, this is a much different game if we see Sam Howell back there. I think this is where Minnesota is prone to an upset. They just clinched the playoffs last week. They're excited. They celebrated. I think Kevin O'Connell is a good coach, a really good coach, my favorite for coach of the year right now if we had to do voting. But I think this is where Seattle says, hey, we're a desperate team. Backs against the wall. We have home field advantage. And I think they shock the world, shock the Vikings, win 33-24. The Buffalo Bills are favored by 14 points, taking on the New England Patriots. I don't think this is going to be a pretty game for either of them, especially for the New England Patriots. Josh Allen, I don't think can keep it up. I think he's going to do his thing for the first half, and then they're going to kind of rest and go into garbage time. I think it's going to be a game that's a little bit closer on paper than it was in real life, and I think the Bills just dominate, right? I can't see this game really going many other ways. Maybe Drake May has some magic under his sleeve, but I just don't really see it. The Bills win 30-17. And really what is a toilet bowl of a game this week, Jacksonville travels to Las Vegas. Vegas is favored in a game for the first time in a very long time. They have 2 wins. They probably don't want to win this game. I don't know if Aiden O'Connell is going to be healthy. He practiced in full, which is pretty impressive after being put in an air cast less than 2 weeks ago. He's going to go out there most likely, and I think because of that, the Las Vegas Raiders are going to win this game. Brock Bowers should have a big one against a bad Jacksonville team, and I think Las Vegas wins 21-13. And the best game of the 4 o'clock slate. The San Francisco 49ers travel to Miami. They take on the Miami Dolphins, a Dolphins team that is in desperation mode. Both of these teams in desperation mode. They need to win out and they need some help to get into the playoffs. At this point, San Francisco, I think, coming to play in Miami, I think it's going to be a nice change of pace. We've seen them when they play in good weather. When they played the Bears, they absolutely dominated them, and I think we're going to get a similar offensive showing for them this week. Obviously, running back situation is up in the air, and that's not a great thing for a Kyle Shanahan team, but I think it's going to be a close one rather than a blowout like it was against the Bears. They win 26-24. The Sunday night game this week is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. The Bucs, I think, are a wagon right now. They are a team that just has all of the momentum. They are not going to lose a game to the Dallas Cowboys. I think they win 30-23. That is a better Dallas Cowboys defense, though. And then the Monday night game. New Orleans travels to Green Bay. This game's not going to be very close. New Orleans, as much as I like Spencer Rattler more than Jake Haener, he's not going to be the answer against a Green Bay defense that just absolutely shut down a guy like Sam Howell, who I think is even a little bit better than Spencer Rattler at this point. Green Bay's going to win pretty easily as long as Jordan Love doesn't get too turnover happy. They win 20-38. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we go over college football playoffs and bowl games. Predictions on the other side here on Sports by GSMC Podcast Network.